My advice would be that please be consistent with whatever you are doing, and before consistency, be clear with what you want to do.
So hello everyone, my name is Shubham Singhania and I'm your mentor for UGC NET Paper 1, Paper 2 Commerce and Management. And today I have a very special guest. I have Miss Ridhima with me. She has qualified her JRF in Commerce and she's going to elaborate upon how did she prepare and what were her strategies and everything. But before that, let me tell you that she's very focused in terms of her preparations as she has cracked this exam in the very first attempt, and I'm very sure कि जो भी लोग इनको सुनने वाले हैं, you're going to get a lot of inspiration. और उन लोगों के लिए भी बहुत ही अच्छा ये सेशन होने वाला है जिनको ऐसा लगता है कि हमें अपने एग्जाम को पोस्टपोन कर देना चाहिए बिकॉज ही इज गोइंग टू टेल हर स्टोरी कि किस तरीके से शी वाज प्लानिंग कि ये नेक्स्ट अटेम्प्ट में एग्जाम देंगी एंड देन शी माइट क्लियर इट, बट इस बार ही अटेम्प्ट के अंदर इन्होंने बहुत अच्छे से प्रिपरेशन करी एंड शी हैज क्वालिफाइड अ जीआरएफ. So first of all, Ridhima, heartiest congratulations and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, sir. It's pleasure to be here.
Ridhima, first question, very basic question. So since you are already pursuing your master's right now, you have not yet completed it. So how does it feel that even you have not even completed your master's and this video is going to be watched up by a lot of aspirants who might be elder to you, who might be preparing for quite some time now. So how is that feeling?
It's like overwhelming to me, and believe me, trust me, when I saw my result, it was unbelievable. I literally saw my name twice, that okay, it's my result only, no? So it's overwhelming, and completely grateful to all my mentors and my parents for supporting me.
Fantastic. Congratulations, Ridhima. I'm sure it must have taken a lot of hard work managing it while you're pursuing your master's.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Ridhima, now I want you to elaborate a bit about your educational qualification. From where have you done graduation, post-graduation and everything?
I've graduated from Bharati College, Delhi University, and it was in BCom honors. And I'm doing my MCom from Delhi School of Economics.
Fantastic. This is my first question that comes to my mind, that you have been a good student because studying in Delhi School of Economics, that means that you have been a hardworking student, a good academic performer. So how did you actually land up to teaching or per se UGC NET?
I guess it's a very long story, but I still remember right from my childhood, I've always had this inclination towards teaching. And it was mainly because my mother is a teacher, my grandmother was a teacher. So I've always been exposed to such an environment. And especially my 11th class teacher played a very crucial role in making me fall in love with this subject, and especially business studies. So that's when my this hobby of teaching turned into a passion, and I decided of doing this NET JRF when I was in my graduation. That I got to know that okay, if you want to get into lecturership, then you'll have to first enroll yourself into MCom, your post graduation, and then you have to clear the NET exam. So then I decided that okay, yes, this is what I want to do.
So if I have to actually sum up your journey, it has to be one, the inspiration coming from parents or grandparents. Second, your hobby or passion in terms of teaching. And third, I would say that you are a meticulous planner, as in your very graduation, you have planned that, okay, I have to get into teaching, so net dena pade.
Yeah, right. Right from my graduation, right from my first year, I was very sure that this is something that I want to do.
So that's very thoughtful of you, Ridhima. Ridhima, that brings me to the next question, that how have you actually strategized? Because I understand, coming from Delhi School of Economics, that it takes a lot of hard work because the classes are very regular. बहुत सारे colleges हैं जहाँ पे classes regular नहीं होती. कभी कभी आपको जाना होता है, बट मुझे क्लियरली पता है कि 5 दिन आपको कॉलेज जाना होता है और एक दिन आपके ट्यूटोरियल भी लगते हैं. तो मोटा मोटा 5-6 दिन आपके वहाँ एंगेज हो जाते हैं from morning till the very evening. So what was your strategy and how did you actually prepare?
I think my strategy was to, like, the next day when I used to get up, I wasn't unsure. I used to know that, okay, this is what I have to do today. These are the units that I have to cover up, and in this much time I need to cover up. So what my plan was for the day, it was already prepared before night. So that if what I want to do tomorrow, I'll already prepare it tonight, that, okay, Ridhima, that tomorrow you'll be working on this. And especially on the days when I used to go to college, I used to pick up some easier units. Like I've also had a very good hand on HR, on organizational behavior, on marketing. So those were the units that I used to do on the days when I was very tired or when I used to go to college, because half of the half of the day was already gone into college, right? On the days when I used to take an off, those were the days when I used to pick up those tricky units, like business finance always came with a good tricky things to me. So that's how I did it.
That's it. So basically, on easier days, you picked up easier topics, and on the days where you have a lot of time, probably there you have picked up the difficult topics.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So Ridhima, can you brief us a little about it? What has been your source of study material? Have you used some course, or you were part of some institute, or were you preparing from your graduation or post graduation book?
For the paper one, I was preparing from KVS Nadan, and for paper two, I was referring to all my graduation books, as well as I had taken one book of Arihant,
Hmm.
book of Aryan, that was the thing, and rest were your videos. Like we have ample number of sources on YouTube, but I feel that following one or two is something which every student must do, because otherwise you'll be very confused as to what do we need to do and what do we not need to do. So
Hmm.
it's very important that we should be clear that okay, this is the thing that we need to follow, and this is how I'll be doing things ahead.
Very short and crisp, and I think it was very systematic to refer to just one or two sources, because the more sources you refer, the more confused you're going to become.
Exactly, yeah.
Right. Ridhima, now that brings us to the next question, that in the recent years there has been a trend where a lot of assertion reasoning and sequencing based questions are being asked, and
Hmm.
they're not available as of now. So I have been speaking to a lot of students and we have no source of material as of now. So how have you tackled them actually, or were you referring to some live sessions or anything of that sort?
I was referring to your live sessions, like you had uploaded so many videos of assertions and reasoning, and especially all those strategies that, okay, focus on the keywords, focus, and then try to connect if the assertion is connecting to the reasoning part and all. So those were the main things that I referred to for this thing. As
Hmm.
if you have a clear concept, then things become quite easier
Hmm.
answer.
Right, rightly said. Because see, these assertion reasoning questions are not direct questions. These are very intricate, complex questions, and
Hmm.
somebody who has actually understood the concept in depth, he will only be able to, or he or she will only be able to answer those questions.
Yeah. So the concept clarity is very important for such questions, I guess.
Right, right. Ridhima, now that brings me to the next question: that how useful were the past year papers? कितने साल के past year papers आपने लगाए? क्या approach थी? किस तरीके से उनको analyze किया? उसके बारे में कुछ बताइए.
So, for me, I followed till the papers till 2018 or 17, because then the pattern changed. I did see the books. So, past years are very important because they actually give you a hint as to how the papers are formed. Because getting to do your concept is one thing, but getting to attempt a paper is something else, right?
Hmm.
You might know the concept, but you don't know that how the question would be asked, because they are not very direct. They would always be some questions which are going to be tricky and which will get you on toes.
Hmm.
Uh, Getting to do the previous year papers is very important, especially you need to attempt mock tests.
Hmm.
If many mock test series, uh, so that helped me to get an analysis and get a hint as to what how the questions would be asked and how do I need to attempt them.
Hmm. Hmm. So, Ridhima, I often see students solving these past year questions or
Hmm.
mock tests, but not able to comprehensively analyze them. So, have
Hmm.
you gone a step further and analyzed them? And if yes, how have you done that?
Yes, I did analyze them. For example, if I'm doing a paper, so I'm giving 2 to 3 hours in solving the paper. After solving, I used to check the answers, and for all the questions that went wrong, I used to see that okay, why did it go wrong?
Hmm.
I not able to comprehend the question correctly, or I didn't know the question altogether. There are questions which I didn't know. So I used to, if there's a concept, I used to dig into that concept. Okay, from where did it come? How is it asked? What else? What more do I need to study about this particular topic? So
Hmm.
this is very important. You need to see that what are your weak points and what are your strong points. Where are you going wrong?
Hmm.
So mostly my wrong parts were in finance and business statistics. So I believe that these two units were those where I had to work a lot because my questions were going weren't going very correct in these two particular units.
I think you have made best use of the analysis, because what I see that a lot of students often practice past years, they often practice mock test, but they do not identify that, okay, these are my strengths, these are my weaknesses. Because until
Right.
unless you're identifying your weaknesses and you're working upon them, there's no
Hmm.
point in solving questions. I remember some of my students telling me, sir, we have solved 5,000 MCQs question, but still we are not able to qualify net. So the problem is not in solving questions. The problem is in analyzing and then understanding those concepts.
Correct. Very
I
true.
think I think Ridhima, you did the right thing. Now,
Mm.
now that brings me to the next question, Ridhima, that every student is going to face some of the other challenge, whether it be a time management issue, whether it be issues in some topics of paper one, or it be some challenges in paper two. So, what were those challenges, and how have you tackled them?
My major challenge was to balance the two things. Like since my MCOM was going in the offline mode, so I had to literally balance my offline studies of MCOM and also of the net.
Hmm.
There were days when I had only one lecture and it was theoretical lecture. So I used to cut off on those days.
Hmm.
I thought that these are the things that I can do myself also. And the days when I had practical subjects, especially finance was one of the subject of,
Hmm.
and it is also in synchronization with the units of this net JRF paper. So I
Right.
felt that going to college was not worth it. It was worth it, but then you need to plan that on which days do you want to go and on which days you don't want to go. Especially when the exam is coming nearer, then you try. I basically I think that self study is something that which supports me to sail through the things. So I
Hmm.
completely cut off from college during my last days, like when the exam was quite near.
Hmm. So basically, you're complementing your college studies with your preparation of UGC net.
Yeah, balancing them.
Fantastic, Ridhima. Ridhima, that brings me to the next question. Now, since you've qualified your JRF with such good percentile, what are you planning now? Do you want to get into teaching? Do you want to get into PhD? Have you identified some of the areas or domains? Have you identified colleges? Because now you're very well eligible to apply at least in IMs, where the, the interviews are going to be held very soon, and then the joining is going to take place next year in July. So, what are your plans? Please throw some light there on.
I have started writing the research paper like during my MCOM. I'm working on it, and further plans I'll be applying for the PhD because I'm sure that I need to go into this research thing, and I want that prefix of doctor in front of my name. I'll be doing that also, and I've started applying. Like I'll be seeing into which colleges do I want to go. There are many good IIT colleges which are offering PhD nowadays, so I'll be applying for them. And side by side, let me just focus on teaching as well. If I get into teaching, like still oscillating between the two, I'm still trying to figure out things, and I believe that since I have quite a few months to decide it before I finish my MCOM, so I'm working on it. I'm talking to the people. I'm talking to the teacher, Delhi School of Economics, as to how can I do this. So it has to be. I'm very clear that yes, I need to do PhD, and of course, then get into the teaching part.
Fantastic. So, Ridhima, though that's a wonderful approach, I would just add a question here that, okay, how did you actually motivate yourself to start writing a research paper? Because अभी बहुत सारे students हैं जिनके लगातार messages और calls आ रहे हैं. I have also been planning a session on writing a research paper. So, how did you actually motivate yourself, and how did you actually start in this particular direction? Because usually क्या होता है, result खराब होता है तो भी हम टाइम वेस्ट कर देते हैं सोचने में कि क्यों खराब हुआ. रिजल्ट अच्छा होता है तो भी हम मंथ्स खराब कर देते हैं एंजॉय करने में कि ठीक है अब तो
Right.
चिल मारना. How have you actually motivated yourself? That's my first question. Second, how have you actually started with your writing of your research paper?
The motivation came from my friends. Like I have two of my friends who have also cleared their net and JRF. So we were sitting one day and we were just thinking that okay, now what? Now we have cleared. We have already step ahead. So now what? So suddenly this idea came. Okay, let's begin writing a research paper. That's the source of motivation for me, my friends, and have a good conversation with them. And secondly, how am I working towards it is we are figuring out the topic that we need to write a research paper on, because the topic, choosing a topic is very important, because if the topic is not good, you'll not be able to work on it, right? we are still on the initial phases where we are trying to explore different areas and write something on. Like there was this assignment that I got from the college where we had to write the influence of social media on training. So we are trying to just speak to teachers, speak to students, like what are the problems are you facing, how can how can we approach to those problems. So we are at the figuring stage the topic of the research paper.
But at least at a very nascent stage, you have already started working on that. So that's a very good thing.
Thank you.
Ridhima, now since you have qualified your JRF in commerce and you're still in your masters, so I'm very sure that you are the right person to give certain advices to students who keep struggling when they're in their post graduation. So, what are some of the advices that you would like to offer to the future aspirants?
My advice would be that please be consistent with whatever you are doing, and before consistency, be clear with what you want to do. Because I was clear that this is something that I want to get into. Therefore, every day when I used to get up, I didn't used to, push myself that no, Ridhima, you have to study for this, you have to study for this. It was never like that. I, in fact, enjoyed the process. I enjoyed the whole journey. My paper got postponed twice, but of course, it was frustrating, but still I was able to do that. I enjoy, like, it's very true that I enjoyed the whole journey. So be clear that yes, you want to get into this, and once you have a clear goal set in front of you, then consistency is the key. Be very consistent with your preparation. There would be so many things that would be happening around you, but and you'll be lucrated towards them, but you need to be focused. So the focus is the key, I guess.
I think it when it comes naturally to you. So for instance, what I'm getting that vibe is कि आपको naturally आ रहा था कि भाई मेरे को तो पढ़ना है और मेरे को एग्जाम क्रैक करके लेक्चरर बनना है, तो फिर it becomes effortless. आपको effort लगाना ही नहीं पड़ेगा.
Yeah, right. And when the things actually fall into place into your side, no, it feels that it's all worthwhile. For the sacrifices you made, it's all worth it. Very, very, very good feeling. Something that you cannot put into words.
Thank you so much, Ridhima. It has been wonderful interacting with me, and I can see that positive vibe assimilating out of you. That is going to naturally push you harder towards PhD and your future career growth. So thank you once again for joining, and do let me know if I can be of any help. Thank you once again, Ridhima, and congratulations once again.
Thank you so much, sir. It's overwhelming to be here, to be in front of you, to be talking to you like this.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
Upload your videos, everything of yours, your live sessions, your YouTube videos. So it's very surreal feeling. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ridhima. Please take care, and all my good wishes for your wonderful future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Okay, bye, sir.